Hello, my name's Luke Webster and I'm the Technical and Compliance Manager for Wiltshire Pension Fund. Now, if you've taken the time to listen to this, then hopefully you would have received your annual benefit statement for 2020. So what we're going to do today is run through each section of the statement to hopefully help you understand a bit more about your deferred pension benefits. Now, what I mean by the term deferred is that you would have left the scheme, so you're no longer paying into the LGPS, but because you met the vesting period, you're entitled to a pension. Until you claim your pension, this will stay on hold with us, and this is what we refer to as a deferred pension benefit. So the first section of the statement is quite self-explanatory, but one of the dates that might not be as clear is the one at the bottom here, and that's the date that your benefits are payable from. So broadly speaking, this is the date that your pension is payable in full without any early retirement reductions, and it's commonly referred to as your normal pension age or your normal retirement date. So for Mrs. Smith here, she left after the 1st of April 2014 in the care scheme. So her normal pension age is essentially her state pension age. So for her, this is age 67. However, this date can be different depending on when you left the scheme, which is the date shown above. So you can find out more information on normal pension ages on My Wiltshire Pension. On top of that, if you were a member of the LGPS at any time between 1st of April 1998 and the 30th of September 2006, some or all of your benefits could be protected from an early retirement reduction under what is called the 85-year rule. If you have 85-year rule protection, then this will continue to apply. But for more information on this, again, you can either visit the My Wiltshire Pension or you can contact the fund, as it can be quite complicated. So the date on your statement is the date that we'll write to you about claiming your pension. However, you can take your pension as early as age 55. If you do draw your pension before your normal pension age, then the figures you'll see in a second and that the figures that are shown on your statement will be reduced because we would be paying them for longer. You can run your own estimates to see what this would look like, and you can do that on your My Wiltshire Pension account. So just moving on to the figures. So when you left the scheme, we would have written to you to notify you the value of your benefits up until the date that you left. Broadly speaking, this would be based on how long you were in the scheme and how much you were paid, and would have looked something like this. Now, as you're no longer contributing to the scheme, this fundamental part of the calculation will always stay the same because you're not going to be building up any more pension. However, your benefits will continue to increase each year in line with the cost of living. And it's this increase that we're notifying you of each year, essentially. So in simple terms, if you've received a deferred benefit statement last year, then the statement you'll receive from us this year will be last year's figures increased by 1.7%, which was the cost of living for 2019-20. If you left partway through the year, then you would have not received the full rate of increase. So for Mrs. Smith, she left into 31st of December 2018. So for the 2018-19 year, she would have only received a proportion of the 2.4% increase that would have applied. However, as she's been deferred for the whole of the 2019-20 year, she will receive the full increase for this year and will continue to get the full increase in the future. So if you're wondering what this bottom figure here relates to, this is basically the cumulative rate of all of the increases that would have been applied to your pension. So if we just break down this pension figure a bit further, so this is the calculation that you would have seen a couple of slides ago, and that's how her pension has been calculated when she left. She then had a part increase for the 2018-19 year because she left 3/4 of the way through the year, essentially, so she wouldn't be entitled to the full 2.4%. So instead she was entitled to 0.6%. For 2019-20, she then received the full increase, which was 1.7%. So 0.6 multiplied by the 1.7% comes to 2.3102%. So for the purpose of illustrating this, this is the multiplier that we use to increase this figure up to an up-to-date figure. So after doing that, the total comes to £6,714.11p, and that then ties in with the figure that's on the statement here. Now, because Mrs. Smith was in the scheme before 1st of April 2008, she also has an entitlement to an automatic lump sum, and that's equivalent to 3 times the 80th element of her pension. So for Mrs. Smith, this comes to £4,795.79 once we've taken into account the cost of living increases. So if you don't have any membership in the 80th scheme, which basically means you would have joined the scheme on or after the 1st of April 2008, then this lump sum here will show as 0. But when you do come to retire, you will be able to exchange some of your pension to get a lump sum. So if we just move down to sections 3 and 4, these are the benefits that may be payable in the event that you were to die before you claim your pension. So if we look at the death grant, the calculation of this will depend on when you left the scheme. So if you left the LGPS before the 1st of April 2008, then a lump sum of 3 times your deferred pension will be payable. Now this is essentially the same calculation to work out your lump sum. So if you did leave before 1st of April 2008, then you should notice that the figure in section 2 is the same as the figure in section 4. For Mrs. Smith, she left the LGPS after the 1st of April 2008, so a lump sum of 5 times her pension would be payable. So 5 times the figure here of 6,714 comes to 33,570.55. So just following on from that, the final section will show you who you've told us you would like to receive the lump sum death grant in the event of your death. So Mrs. Smith has nominated her husband, but you can nominate any person, charity or organisation. Ultimately, the fund has absolute discretion over who this is paid to, and that's whether you've made a nomination or not. But this is the best way to let us know of your wishes. So if you haven't made a nomination, or you have and you'd like to change it, then you can do this on your My Wiltshire Pension account. Also, if you have made a nomination, then you should see a date here at the bottom, and that would be the date that you made the nomination. So for Mrs. Smith, she made this, was that over 10 years ago now. So if it has been a long time, then we would suggest submitting a new expression of interest form, even if it's to nominate the same person. And that just tells us that that was your wishes at that point in time. So that's a quick overview of your statement. So thank you very much if you've made it to the end. Hopefully you haven't got more questions than when you started. We do appreciate that pensions is not the easiest of subjects at the best of times. So if you do have any questions about any information on your statement, then please feel free to get in touch with us on the details shown on the screen there. Okay, so thank you for listening and stay safe.